Good morning, like you follow Christian Church and our friends out there that come to Sunday school. Welcome. It is August. It is still warm outside, but it's beautiful weather to get up and get out and come to church today. So I'm going to give you a little Sunday school preview. We are in Matthew 22 if you want to turn your Bibles over there. But before we do, there's one announcement I want to make. And that is that we're going to have a family night this Wednesday night. It's going to be at Yogi Bear's. You should bring friends. You should come and bring friends. There's going to be food in the pavilion. They've got the pavilion reserved from 6 to 8. They'll be cooking in there. We'll have... there's reduced prices on everything in the park. So, they're kind of closing up for the season. And so this is the last hurrah. And so everybody just come out on Wednesday night and enjoy each other and get to know people maybe that you didn't get to know as well because you didn't spend as much time with them. I also want to ask you to please pray for some people. Will you please pray for Lisa Rhodey Bush, pray for Ramona, pray for Chris, and pray for Ed Rhodey Bush. Ed looks better, but he still doesn't look like Ed. So, I know he doesn't feel well. Also, please pray for the Steadley family and friends, for the grief that they're going through and the loss of these two awesome people. Okay, guys, let's look at Matthew, the 22nd chapter. And we're going to be talking about 15 through 22 today. And this is going to be the part where we're talking about taxes. And, sometimes we think because it looks like that the federal government that we pay taxes to maybe is not doing what we think they should be doing with the tax money, that we resent that and that we're not real sure we want to pay those taxes. Well, the Herodians and the Pharisees try to trap Jesus in one of those questions about paying taxes because Caesar's picture is on the coins and he is considered a god. And so the idea is we're going to trap him with this one. And if you've been reading with us in the previous weeks and through chapter 21, 22, you know that we're in the last week of Jesus's life and that they are really bearing down on him, trying to catch him in something so that they can take him away and have him killed. So let's read it. First of all, taxes for Caesar. When the Pharisees met together, to plot how to trap Jesus into saying something for which he could be arrested. Verse 16, they sent some of their disciples, along with the supporters of Herod, this would be the Herodians, to meet with him. Teacher, they said, we know how honest you are. You teach the way of God truthfully. You are impartial. You don't play favorites. And I know Jesus is saying, this is not happening. Verse 17. Now, tell us what you think about this. This is the question they posed for him. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Verse 18. But Jesus knew their evil motives. I mean, what are they going to figure out? He knows what they're doing before they ever get to him. And he says to them, you hypocrites. He said, why are you trying to trap me? Here, show me the coin used for the tax. I just love this part because Jesus says, show me the money. Show me the money. Go get the money that you're going to pay the taxes to Caesar with. And when they handed him a Roman coin, he asked, whose picture and title are stamped on it? And Caesar's, they replied. Well then, he said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. His reply amazed them, and they went away. licking their wounds, I'm sure. Now, let's look at this just a minute. Let's break it down. The Pharisees opposed Roman occupation in Palestine. Now, let's think about that just a minute. They opposed it because they're oppressed. They don't own their land anymore. They are under the rule of Caesar. You know, Jesus rarely ever criticizes what the Pharisees are actually saying. What he criticizes is what they're doing, and he tells them that they're hypocrites. So when the Romans are in their occupied land in Palestine, the land that's been given to them by God, and they're oppressing them, then the Pharisees are really angry because they're paying taxes to be oppressed. But now the way that Rome looked at it is that you're paying taxes because here we are keeping the peace, we are fixing the streets, we are taking care of the water systems and all those kind of things for you. So yeah, you owe us taxes. So the supporters of Herod, though, this is what's crazy. I want you to get this. We've got two extremes here. We have the Pharisees who hate the Romans and the Roman occupations. And now we have the Herodians who are the ones that support Herod. And this is Herod Antipas at the time. And they support the policies of Rome. Guys, I want you to know that normally these two were bitter enemies. Even though they're both Jews, they're bitter enemies. And they unite here against Jesus to try to get Jesus, even though they hate each other. Am I making sense? So what's happening here is they have thought that they have a foolproof plan to catch Jesus. We're going to get him this time. Together, they're representing about, paying the taxes. Together, they're representing, let's talk about paying taxes, and they're thinking, this is what we're going to do. This is going to work this time. Because if Jesus agreed that it was right to pay taxes to Caesar, then the Pharisees will say, okay, well then he's opposed to God. And then B, if Jesus said not to pay taxes to the supporters of Herod, then they'll hand him over and charge him rebellion. They'll say he's a traitor because he's not aligning with who is the ruler of the country that he is living in, and they can have him sent up for rebellion. Jesus avoided the trap. How did he do that? He showed them that we have dual citizenship. We have a responsibility, guys, to our country, regardless of who's running it. We have a responsibility to our country. Now, if you don't believe that, read Romans 13. And remember that when Romans 13 was written, it was written by Paul. And Paul, at that time, Rome was under the rule of Nero. And who was it that eventually took off Paul's head? It was Nero. But remember that Paul is saying you owe a loyalty to the country that you belong to. But also, we know that we owe a loyalty to God. So we have dual citizenship, don't we? We are citizens of Eufaula, Oklahoma, of the United States of America, and we are also citizens of heaven when we belong to Jesus Christ and we've given our life to him. So Jesus is saying here, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Then when he said, show me the money, the image on the money was Caesar Antipas. And he said, give to God what is God's. Guys, what is God's? What image is on you? What image should we be thinking about that we owe our loyalty to? And when you think about that, I want you to think about Genesis 1:27. Whose image is on us? This states that God made man in his own image. meaning that the human race was granted a particular likeness to God. We look like God in some respect. We don't know what. No one's ever seen God. But just as Seth, who was one of the children of Adam and Eve, bore the likeness and the image of his father Adam, that's in Genesis 5 and 3, God made Adam and Eve to bear his image and his likeness. So there it is. What does it say on us? Does the image that we bear, the way that we act, the way that we put ourselves out to other people in the community, in the church, in the country, does that reflect God's image, or does that reflect some other image? Let's be sure to come to Sunday school today and let's talk this out in full. I'm so glad that you joined me, and I pray that you have a wonderful Sunday. And I want to tell you, if you like Sunday school, then please push the like button. And if you like my earrings, then I just want to tell you that Miss Carla provided these, and they came from one of their trips down to South Texas, and she brought a lot of things back, and this was a door prize at the women's meeting. So, when you come to the women's meeting or the men's meeting, either one, the things that you win, the things that you obtain there, it's not just about getting something pretty. It's things that you take home that you bear in your heart. So guys, come up and see us today. Love you guys. I pray you have a good Sunday, and I'll talk to you.